With me is Tony Atlas here on the Best of Texas Wrestling. And Tony, we call you Mr. USA. We'd be right, wouldn't we?
Yes, sir. In May, I won the 1979 WBBG Mr. USA contest in New York. And I trained, a little bit different than my wrestling training. Because with my wrestling training, I trained for speed, ability, flexibility in the ring, and strength. But in bodybuilding, you're just training for, for a body. It is hard work, and it's altogether different than wrestling training. But in a way, it helped my wrestling because it straightened parts in my body that I don't ordinarily work when I'm wrestling.
What sort of a combination would you advise youngsters to use to get a good body?
Where you don't want to start off with weight that is too heavy. The best thing for a person to never lift weights before is to just start off with the bar. Then as weeks go by, you add weights onto the bar. You don't want to, if you start off too heavy, you're going to end up hurting yourself if you don't know what you're doing. Weights is very serious, and you got to be careful how you lift them because you could very easily get hurt at weight training. I started weight training because I wanted to be bigger and stronger to wrestle, because my dream was to be a professional wrestler, and I knew in order to be a professional wrestler and compete with top competition, you had to be in top condition, and you got to have a strong body. You got to train every day.
And you do that?
Yes, sir. I have to train every day but Sunday. Sunday I go to church, but the other time I'm in the gym, I'm training, I'm running, and I'm concentrating on wrestling all the time, because the only way you're going to be good at anything, you got to put full concentration on it.
And concentration is something that you have to learn, and Tony Atlas has not only learned it, but he earned everything that came his way by working hard for it. Up in the ring, Maniac Mark Lewin. And strangely enough, no Gary Hart in his corner as yet. There's the Maniac looking at his opponent, and there are a lot of fans who are looking at him. You have seen him in the interview that preceded this match. There is Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, one of the finest built wrestlers in the game and one of the finest built people in the world. And what we like about Tony is that Tony is primarily a wrestler. He is not a weightlifter turned wrestler, he is a wrestler turned weightlifter. That's Tony Atlas. He has used that power in the arms that he has there to maul Mark Lewin. And Mark Lewin doesn't take mauling easily. He is a tough customer. He went out of the ring almost voluntarily that time, because the chop that hit him in the kidney was one that was not designed to make him stay there and take more. He really stung that one in the right area, and Mark Lewin decided that out of there was the better part of the strategy. Atlas, with all those muscles, you see them shake every once in a while as he tends to stay loose. Atlas is well known all up and down the East Coast, where he has done the majority of his wrestling, and for good reason. They want him there, and he has got fire and power and ability. So Lewin tries now, since there is no Gary Hart out there, to see what he can do about Bronco Lubitsch. Lewin is Lewin. You hear that yelping bark of his all over the Coliseum. Atlas is trying to set him up that time, but he set him up. He has really set him up. That's man-to-man power. You don't treat Maniac Mark Lewin that way. Here is a man, look at that physique, and you'll know that he puts in hours and hours of solid, hard training. The leg split he's holding here right now is an excellent hold to just try to slow a man up. But watch Atlas. He's lifting that foot in spite of the pressure on there and has managed to throw Maniac Mark Lewin completely off balance. Good move. Lewin feels lost. No Gary Hart. Impatient, Tony Atlas. It's a good sign in a wrestler when he wants to get in there and tangle. He's not looking to walk around and to recover. He wants to get in there and get the other guy before he can. Full Nelson, full Nelson. And Mark Lewin changes the hold without changing his body position behind him to rip across the face and the eyes of Tony Atlas. So Tony starts back up into that ring. He knows the count is going, and he gets pounded before he even gets into the ring. And a full Nelson this time for Tony Atlas, and he gives him a taste of his own medicine. He returned the compliment by ripping across his face, and the Maniac, holed up in the deck there, knows that he's up against the guy who is not going to take anything he does to him without retaliating as quickly and as well as he can. 5 minutes have gone by. 10 minutes remain in this match. Lewin with that hard overhand chop, and he goes for the grip on the throat, straight out choke, and of course he has until before five count to break it. Here is Tony Atlas returning the compliment. That's the second time in a row he has done the same thing to Maniac Mark Lewin, and he lifted him up off his feet with impunity that time and just dropped him like a bag of oats. Lewin ducked down, and it wasn't to tie his shoelaces. Lewin walking around now, whether he's concealing something in his hand, I'm not quite certain. Yes, now I'm quite certain. But he picks something up off the Coliseum floor, and Tony comes in with that eager stance of his, and he has grabbed that hand, grabbed the arm, and has taken the object. Well, I can see that they are not going to be pushing Tony Atlas around. There is a driving blow up into his throat. That was with the fingers stuck out straight and joined, and he hit him with the tips of the fingers. Now Tony's in trouble. Here is Maniac Mark Lewin uncorking. And if you saw Tony's face instead of his back, you would see a look of anger on that face. And now as he starts to clobber Mark Lewin, Tony's temper has gotten the best of him. Oh, how he caught him that time with a solid smash into that ring post, and he's introducing him here to a chair, and that'll do him no good. And Tony Atlas decides that he's going to continue after Mark Lewin. There's the Mark made a mistake. He pushed that chair up into the ring, and well, I'll be darned. And there is Tony Atlas' method of dealing with Lewin. And no Gary Hart on the outside of the ring. Here variety of wallops, and Lewin is bleeding badly from that contact with the ring post, and Atlas follows him up and delivers more. He's got Mark Lewin hanging on the ropes in a way that we have never seen Mark Lewin treated before. And Lewin went over the top rope, hit the Coliseum floor, and I'm afraid that Tony Atlas, in spite of everything, is going to find himself disqualified. The one thing where a referee does not have a choice is in the throwing over the top rope, and he is blasting. There's the diving cannonball, and there is Tony Atlas, and the fans telling him to give him another one, give him another one. Tony has lost this match. Technically, I'd say. He has been declared a loser on a disqualification, but he has proven to these fans that he is a winner. The way that he has mauled Mark Lewin, I have never seen anyone in the long time that I have seen Mark Lewin in the ring. I have never seen Mark Lewin handled that way, with or without Gary Hart. But Tony Atlas, making his debut here in Houston, proves that he is not only a man of muscle, he is a man of explosive temper, and certainly a man who can retaliate for any wrong done to him. That's Atlas pounding on Maniac Mark Lewin and chasing him out into the aisle, and there goes a headbutt, and Mark Lewin is knocked halfway up the aisle and in the direction of the dressing room, and he just took off like a scalded duck. And Tony Atlas, with his crowd roaring their approval, looks at them, and they're all telling him that he should have been the winner. There you'll see the fans giving their approval to Tony Atlas. What a match, what a surprise. We hope you enjoyed this Best of Texas Wrestling. We've tried to put a little something of diversified opinions and diversified action in order to maintain your interest and to give you a different view into a sport that we dearly love and with which we have been connected for many, many years, almost 50 years of total connection with wrestling. So in presenting this to you, we present it from a spirit of affection for the sport and all that it has done over the years for so many, many people. No people are as devout and as concerned as wrestling fans, and to all of you out there who wear that tag of being a fan of wrestling, we are particularly proud to have you in our audience, and we're going to do everything we can to merit your attention in the future. We'll have something new for you the next time that we are on the air, and something old for you. So new and old, we say so long, everybody.